Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm here with another video. We're gonna work on configuring HSRP, hot standby router protocols. So I'm gonna go ahead and start right away here. It's gonna be a short video. There isn't much in the lab here. If I read out the objectives, it says here that we need to configure an HSRP active router and then a standby router, and then we're gonna verify HSRP operations. Okay, so that's what we need to do in this specific lab. So let me just read out the background a little bit so you have an idea of what's going on in this lab. Spanning tree protocol provides loop-free redundancy between switches within a LAN. However, it does not provide redundant default gateways for end user devices within the network. If a gateway router fails, the first hop redundancy protocols (FHRPs) provide redundant default gateways to and devices with no additional end user configuration necessary. By using a FHRP, two or more routers can share the same virtual IP address and MAC address and can act as a single virtual router. Hosts on the network are configured with the shared IP address as their default gateway. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to configure Cisco's hot standby router protocols, which is an FHRP. Okay, all right, awesome. So, good deal. We're going to do that. It's going to be a router 1 and router 2. So, we're going to make one active and the other one is standby routers. Okay, all right. So, the instruction right here, it's pretty simple if you follow along. You get to see the process when, for example, right here, if you delete the link between router 3 and switch 3, and then run trace route command and see what happens, how many hops it takes before and after, and so it gives you a good idea of the logic behind that, and it's a good example to see and enforce your knowledge in this topic. So I'm gonna jump right into configuring HSRP active and standby routers. All right. So let's first open up. It says configure HSRP on router one. Configure HSRP on the gig one LAN interface of router one. Okay, so we're gonna open up router one here. All right. Let me move this guy a little bit. All right, back here. All right. So and then we're gonna go enable config term, and then we're gonna go into that int /1, and then B says specify the HSRP protocol version number. The most recent version is version 2. Okay, and then note, you gotta remember this: standby version 1 only supports IPv4 addressing. Okay, so that's good to know. So let's just go ahead and do version 2. Version 2. All right, so and C says configure the IP address of the virtual default gateway. This address must be configured on all hosts that require the service of the default gateway. All right, so and then multiple instances of HSRP can be configured on a router. All right, so let's configure the default gateway IP address. Standby. This is one IP. We're gonna do 192.168.1.254. All right, and then it's initiating right now. So I'll just kind of wait a few seconds here because you need to wait a few seconds before you run the other next command, because it's gonna change to the active status. So you just gotta wait for that to change the active status, then do the next command. Otherwise, I think it will kind of mess up the order. All right, there you go. Now that one is in active status. All right, so we're gonna now do um, Standby one priority. Stand by one priority. 10 5 0 1 5 0. All right, and then router one. I'm reading this section right here. Router 1 will operate as the active router, and the traffic from two LANs will use it as the default gateway. Okay, so router 1 is our active router right now. All right, so, and then E, it says if it is desirable that the active router resume that the role when it becomes available, configure it to preempt the service of the standby router, and the active router will take over the gateway role when it becomes operable again. Okay, so that makes sense. So all right, so we're gonna run this to by one preamp. All right, okay. Okay, now and then the question says right here, what will the HSRP priority of router 3 be when it is added to the HSRP group 1? I think the priority of ETSA will be it will be 100, which is the default value. So 100, which is the default value. All right, so now we're gonna configure on router 3. So I'm just gonna click here and then open up my router 3. Okay, all right. Now enable config term. And then let's go ahead and oops. All right, there you go. Now this is gonna be all right. So this is router 3. So we're gonna configure the router 3 interface and then repeat only steps 1B and 1C above. Okay. All right. So we're gonna int. This is gonna be, by the way, gig 0/0. And then we're gonna do standby version 2, and then stand by 1 IP, and it was going to be 192.1 68.1 .254. Okay, same as the top one. 164. All right, so hit enter, and again here we have to wait for that to change the status to active. All right, come on. All right, and then once that's done, we're gonna verify the configuration. There you go. All right, now it's standby. All right, the other one was active. Now this one is by standby because this is the second, because we're configuring this as a standby router. Okay, awesome. All right. So for this one, you don't need to run the last command, which was the standby one preempt. All right. Now let's end. I'm gonna actually end this here, and then go open up my router 3, and then let's end here too, and let's run. We're gonna run so standby. All right. We're gonna run so standby. Let's see what we got here. All right, so standby right here. Blah blah blah. Active 8. All right, so now that's good. We got the default version 2 IP address. We got the IP address. Enabled preempt is enabled router. Active router is local. There you go. So 150. So that's all good to go. Now let me go back to this and do the same thing. So standby. There you go here too. Okay. And then there's a question says using the so by command use the so standby brief command on R1 and R2 to view, and it's a HSRP status summary below here. Okay, so they have already printed out right here too, so I'm not gonna run that. Now let's change the default address for PC1, PC and S1, S3. Okay, now we're gonna have to change it right here. Go to PC1, IP configuration. Now the default gateway gonna be what was the last? I think it was 168.1.254. All right, 254. Okay, close this one and go back to PCB, and we're gonna do the same thing right here. 254, 254. Oops, 254. All right, close this guy. Now we're gonna do it on S1 as well. All right, enable config term, and then the S1 gonna be for S1 it's gonna be the same thing. So we'll do it's gonna be IP default gateway 192.168.1.254. All right, 254, and then just end it. I'm gonna close this guy, and let's do it on the S3 as well. Enable config term, and then IP default gateway 192.168.1.254. All right, I'm gonna end it. All right, awesome. All right, so we're done with this. Now, oh, okay, change the, okay, which address should you use? Okay, it says which address should you use? Um, um, oh, for the PC? Yeah, we should 192.168.1.254. And verify the new settings. Issue a ping to. Okay, so if you go ahead here and then go to, let's just ping. Let's ping our server, web server ping. What's the web server? Web server. 209.165.200 and 226. All right, let's see. 209.165.200. All right, it got send 4, receive 2, lost 2, 50% lost. Let's run it again. There we go. Yeah, takes a second to recognize that. Okay. All right, awesome. So 100%, zero loss, successful. I'm gonna close this one, and then there's another here stuff you can do. Break the link to router 1, and then immediately return to this and trace route. Let's do. Let me stick here. Let me show you quickly. So right now, I'm gonna do trace route on this guy. Let's do trace route, right? And let's see. Okay, so as you can see right here, it goes from let me go back up here so you can see how many devices it goes to get to the destination. That is our switch number 1, right? So from switch number 1, so from your PC goes to your switch number 1, and then dot 2 would be your router 2. All right, router 2 right there, router 2, and then it goes to the inet, the internet provider, internet, right, and then goes to your server, right? So it goes from S1 and then all the way to the R2, and then internet, and you get the server, web server. Right now, let's I'm gonna go down and let's do it. Just select the delete to okay, S1 and immediately return. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna select so this. Now I'm gonna click right here. Okay, now the link is deleted and go immediately run that again and see what happens. So this is what you get to see like in the background, like what it's doing, and pretty much this is the first instruction right here. Uh, this is exactly what it talks about. You get to see this. All right, now, all right, awesome. So as you can see that it took a few seconds to activate the standby router, but that will not cause any uh, service disruption for our end clients. They will not see that. They will not, it will be an instant. So they will see no disturbance in service. So as you can see right here, it goes from now, it goes to a different switch, right? Goes to 3, which is um where is that 111 goes to switch number 3. Now it's routing from switch number 3. Now it goes to switch number 3 and then goes to router 2, and then you're entering and that. So this switch now it's routing that way. So that enabled it. So, all right, awesome. So this is it. We're at 100% as you can see here. So we have successfully completed the lab. And also, if you think this video has been beneficial to you, and you think this was very helpful to you, please do subscribe to the channel and leave a thumbs up. And I really appreciate your support, so I can put more this type of content in YouTube. And again, thank you very much. You have a lovely day. Bye.